Hello, my jelly fighters. My name is Jim, and this is your Daily Brogue for September 12th, 2021. I have still not gotten to the point where I'm happy about what we've talked about with the I Do Not Dream of Labor crowd. The I Do Not Dream of Labor crowd are 20-year-olds with good jobs who are upset about it for some reason. I'm not sure that those reasons are always the same. They do tend to be people who were badly brainwashed in college to be anti-capitalist in some way. They equate sort of middle management, managerial roles, sort of the middle income roles. They will be entry-level white-collar roles to labor, right? Which is a little ahistorical, right? They've got the jobs that will get them places if they want to go places, right? They are not labor by any means, right? They are not working in factories. They are not producing anything, right? They're basically moving numbers around on spreadsheets, right? There's nothing wrong with moving around numbers on spreadsheets, but it's not really labor. It's not labor in the way that you would generally think of labor, right? They have wages, but they're not really they're not really the kinds of people that they're not in the sort of dead-end jobs where used to be people would feel really trapped because they were trapped. 1950, there was not a way, there was not a path from the factory floor to the C-suite. And of course now there is. Right? Well, I'd like to say that there isn't, but my wife did work for a company where literally the it was sort of an extraction business. So the guy would work on oil platforms. So some guy who worked on oil platforms long, long ago turned himself into the CEO of the company. He was an absolutely awful CEO, but this is the sort of thing that happens in modern capitalism. You can do that, right? There are programs that'll get you from one place to the other, even if you don't believe it. 'Tis true, 'tis true. Not a lot of people are going to do that, and anybody who can count will tell you that, right? But it's something that was much rarer before, right? So, I mean, that's the, actually, I don't know that it was rare. I shouldn't say that. Still not common, right? But something that happens. And I think that is one thing we shouldn't pretend like some of these things don't happen just because, you know, fit our prejudices. This is what we call them. I'll call them prejudices. Okay. Look. Already have a sap of lightning, at least that good blinking, I guess, will do. One of these is probably strength, and hopefully the other one's detect magic. It is good. Alright, the rapier is bad. Splint nail is average. So, let's drop J, drop V, drop P. Try to do something with X. Get ready to zap some dudes with some lightning. So as I said, there is a level at which I am sympathetic to the kids, right? I've been through all of that, right? And I think the biggest problem is that most people have, right? Most of us have been through all of that. So if we've all been through it, it's hard to feel too badly for them. And also, obviously, it's a little bit difficult to worry too much because, I mean, they've just started and they don't have an alternative. There's no alternative, right? They're complaining about this. They're blaming capitalism. They have no alternatives. Any alternatives that are even marginally viable are capitalistic alternatives, right? They're doing this on YouTube. Some of them probably are even making, some of them I know are making money on YouTube from what they're doing. Some of them aren't, because the nature of YouTube is that you don't make a lot of money doing YouTube. Unless you are, the big YouTube star. And there really aren't that many big YouTube stars, so probably that's not who they are either, right? $50-50, do I have a life? I do not. Oh, I know it's a good one. Right, some things are really sort of things that are real. Some things are really just stuff that exists in capitalism, right? And included in that are jobs like some of these ones, right? So despite all the sympathy we can give them, the kinds of things that they'd like to do are capitalist, or, as I said before, capitalist is a sort of fake ideology. It's a fake ideology because it's a name for an ideology given to it by its detractors, or it might not even be an ideology, right? So, say what do you mean it's not an ideology? Obviously it's an ideology. Well, its detractors have an ideology, right? That doesn't mean that its proponents have an ideology. That's kind of a weird thing to say. Also true, but weird. So, I'm going to do it this way. I think I explained that before, just when I was talking about capitalism in general, is that in general, capitalism is just free markets and the things that make them work. Those build up a lot of moral interactions. You need moral interactions for that to work. If you don't have moral people, a lot of things fail. So in fact, a lot of us are actually hypersensitive to the failures of capitalism, as it were, because capitalism has instilled within us some morality that say that we shouldn't do many bad things or good things or something like that. What is this sword doing? Not working. Okay, that was a sort of speed. Too bad it never told me that before I died. You could have dumped some of these things in there. I would have dumped these enchantings into it and had a good sword. But I haven't gotten to that point yet. I may have done it otherwise too. So, yeah, these guys. That was an introduction. I didn't even get done with the introduction. And we're at the end again, aren't we? This is going to go somewhere soon. I just don't know where. Alright, so why don't we try it again?